Sip your coffee, morning bright, ideas sparking, coming to light. On the mic, sounding tight, problem solved, day and night, every day. Oh yeah. Modern problem solvers. Here's your groove. Step by step, watch us move. Feel the beat, take and groove. Modern problem solvers in the groove. Oh yeah.
Welcome to the show. We are the Modern Problem Solvers.
Because modern problems call for modern solutions, and that's why we're here. So today we wanted to talk about core values. This is work that we both have done previously. However, we wanted to revisit it for the new year and share the process that we used in order to reestablish and discover new core values, which was really cool for me. Was it cool for you?
It was very neat.
Yeah, it was neat. Yeah, and so we're going to share that process or a different process if you don't love using AI tools, because we use ChatGPT, but I know that not everyone's a fan of that. That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it was Mary instigated the practice, and I was encouraged. I was inspired by her exploration of this. And when I saw what she had come up with with the help of ChatGPT and her own self-inquiry, I thought, this is worthwhile. This is worth doing. And to remind ourselves of our core values, it plays into the system that helps us make decisions easier. And I think that's very much a niche of ours that helps us in life and that we can offer as an assist to others, is systems and tools and models of mind that help make decisions faster, easier, and more aligned with your values. And so this practice of figuring out our core values helps us with that.
Absolutely.
And reminds us what we're doing it for.
Yeah. I have found and read, and I'm sure that you can speak to this too, that when you are acting outside of your values, you're going to feel off. Maybe irritable, maybe guilty, maybe shameful. You're going to feel wrong when you're doing things that aren't aligned with your core values. But when you know what your core values are, you can keep yourself aligned with them. So the first step is figuring out, what the heck do I even value? Just on a whim, we were at a coffee shop. We were doing our end of the year journaling. I decided, I was like, well, let's just revisit my core values. So I grabbed my phone and I threw up a prompt on ChatGPT and was like, how does one start to discover their core values? And ChatGPT was beautiful and was like, well, here's how. You got to first of all pick from a list, and then you've got to decide from that list what might be similar, and then you pare it down from there, and then you pare it down from there, and then you order them in the order of importance, and boom, there are your core values. Now, it's harder to align by your values if you have too many. So ChatGPT suggests 3 to 5, and we both felt that 5 was perfect.
Just the ticket.
ChatGPT gave me a list. I asked for a list of values. Well, actually, it asked me if I would like a list of values. I was like, yeah, that's great. What a great place to start. And so it listed off, I don't know, probably 50 values. It had them divided into categories, which was cool, like personal growth, relationships, integrity, creativity, et cetera, et cetera. I used that as a starting point. I didn't feel like it had a list that was comprehensive enough for me. I found one that was like over 200, and I went through that. And so through ChatGPT's list and my own list, I came up with, I want to say it was maybe 30 values that were similar. And where I found ChatGPT as a very useful resource was, what of these can be grouped together. So when I sent them into the prompt, it came back with, well, these ones are all similar. So is there one value within this group that stands out more than the rest, or defines all the rest, or encompasses all the rest? I thought that was really cool. If you're not into AI, you can just do this yourself. You can just find a free online list of values. You pick the ones that resonate with you.
The key to uncovering, discovering, and embracing in the end your core values is to reflect on what you actually want, not what you want to want. I had so much trouble with this because I'll just be honest, there are some aspects of my personality that I'm not the biggest fan of, that I wish were different. And when I say that I want compassion and empathy to be core values for me, that doesn't mean they are a core value. That means I wish they were. And sure, I can work on cultivating more empathy, but that doesn't mean it's a core value. It's what do you genuinely already value from your core? What has spoken to you for your, most of your life, and what is aligned with your truest nature? What I really genuinely value, which if that lingo is not resonating with you, you can just think what's important. What concepts are core and central to your philosophy of life? But mine are trust, which honesty is encompassed in that, vitality, so more than just health. You can be healthy and exercise and eat well, but if you don't have a spring in your step, that, I don't know, there's something missing, for me at least. This is just mine. You don't have to embrace any of it. But trust, vitality, courage, everything worthwhile stands on the other side of courage. Wisdom, not just knowledge or intelligence or facts, but having true discernment. And there's an aspect of wisdom that implies that you're a teacher as well, that you're not just accumulating knowledge and having a lot of input, but that you share it. And so that's important to me. And the fifth one, of course, is fun. Because if you can't have fun, if you're not having fun with your experience in life, what the hell's the point? You gotta laugh.
Yeah.
Inject some playfulness into your life.
Well, at least you need to.
I do. That's, again, putting it on others. This is core central to me. Take it or leave it. Reflect on it and see if it applies to you. But that's me.
Yeah. You had a different strategy when you were looking up your values. You did not want an outside list.
I didn't want more than 50 options, really, is what it came down to. The paradox of choice says people with more options are less satisfied with their final choice. It takes a lot of reflection and thought, and it helps when you have somebody who knows you so well to be like, this one, that's there. You didn't say that yet, but that's a core value of yours. Oh, okay, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I think that was it was fun to do it together.
I don't know if I would have done it if you hadn't done it first. Because when you just went off and did it, I was like, I felt a little bit of FOMO. I was kind of like, oh, that sounds like fun. I kind of want to do that. This feels important also.
Yeah.
And having you there to help me really made it happen.
I actually first did this work prior to meeting Stephen. I was at my mom's place and she had done her values and had them up on the wall. And I only had 3 at that point: love, integrity, and freedom. Coming back to this work again, I realized it just wasn't quite specific enough. I think there's elements of those 3 within the 5 values that I have rediscovered. The first one being compassion. I try to have compassion for everyone. I try to understand where people are coming from. I try to think, how would I be behaving if I was in their shoes, or give them the benefit of the doubt in case something's going wrong. Not just compassion for people, compassion for animals, compassion for the environment, compassion for the chair that I accidentally bump and apologize to, just compassion for everything.
It's one of the reasons I fell in love with her.
Thanks. Compassion is also, it can be self-directed, and it should be self-directed, having compassion for yourself, grace for yourself, forgiving your past mistakes and knowing that you can do better and just loving yourself through it. And that's been big, a journey of self-love for me for the last few years. The second of my values is wonder. I am very proud of and will always have a huge sense of wonder, being amazed by the little things and the magical things and the daily magical things, like cute teeny tiny little mushrooms in the forest bring me so much delight, and just finding the wonderful in our world. And that's huge for me. It's a big part of who I am and what I do.
The wonderful. I love it. The things in life that are full of wonder.
That's great.
That's great.
That's so great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another reason I fell in love with her.
My third is joy. It's the importance of happiness and positivity and love and fun. Joy and wonder, they're closely related, but they're not quite the same thing.
Do you mind if I jump in a little
Please,
bit?
yeah. Oh,
I
absolutely.
think there's a very small but important distinction between wonder and awe. I've been reading a lot of articles lately about the power of awe and the importance of awe, and including or cultivating moments of awe, finding those moments and really pinpointing or prioritizing finding moments of awe. But wonder is awe with a hint of curiosity. It's a noun and a verb.
The next one that overlaps between the two of us, and I think that's really cool, is courage. We talked about this, I think, in our second episode, like our guiding principles of we can do hard things. It takes courage to do hard things. It takes courage to do vulnerable things. Sometimes when you're down in the depths of lowness, it takes courage to ask for help. Courage is huge. Sometimes I don't like doing scary things, but I do them anyway.
Do you like the payoff of doing scary things? The doing of the scary thing is always scary, but the having done of the scary thing afterwards feels amazing. When we don't exercise courage over the course of our day, we feel like we didn't live up to our potential.
Or when you are faced with a moment and you choose the easy route over the courageous route, you feel that. It feels icky. It feels wrong.
Yeah, there's aspects of guilt and shame.
Totally. That's exactly it.
Because you want to feel like you want to be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
This is in a number of different books, but that feeling of having accomplished, it's critical. Hitting the pillow at the end of the day knowing that we did our best.
Yeah. The last one of mine is adventure. I love adventures. Little tiny things are adventures to me, and I think that's great. One of my most recent adventures was I took the book that Stephen got me for Christmas,
Wild Edible Mushrooms of British Columbia,
which is so great. And I ran around in my forest looking for mushrooms, hoping to identify them. I did not identify a single one. I was out there for 2 hours. I found a bunch of mushrooms, but apparently they're not edible.
She is a novice forager at this point.
Very novice.
This is early stages.
Not bringing anything home yet. I just like looking at them. And we love adventures. We go on so many adventures.
She is my adventure buddy.
Yeah.
We're going to go on an adventure right after this to find some hot chocolate. So we personally believe this is work worth doing, that it emphasizes and helps with decision making and feeling aligned and understanding why we might feel dysregulated at times, giving us the reflective material to work towards alignment and authenticity. And so if you're interested in doing this kind of work yourself and finding your core values and discovering them, we recommend using some AI tools. They are very helpful. But if you have an aversion to that, for whatever reason, start with a list. Google search some list of values and pare it down from there. Ask yourself some really deep reflective questions. What do I really value? What is important to me? If you were to ask everybody at my funeral, what did that person really value, truly believe in, or stand for? What would they say? Not what would you like them to say, or what do I want to want?
When I finished my list and I read it out to Stephen, I was like, doesn't that just sound like me? And he was like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And there's no one saying that you can't have aspirational values and work to have more compassion, work to have more empathy. But these are your core values. If you think core memories from Inside Out, how those make up Riley, it's kind of like that.
One of the most valuable prompts we asked ChatGPT for once we'd found our values, once we discovered what truly resonated with us, was, could you put together a few suggestions for how we might implement each core value into a daily practice? And I found that so effective because when we have these highfalutin philosophies written on a poster somewhere in our house, it doesn't do anything. But if I had it written down with bulleted suggestions for how to action these values in my daily life, then I'm more likely to implement them and live in accordance with my values, not just know what they are in an intellectual way. We wish you the best in your journey. And if you want to share, once you've done this little project for yourself, throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear what your core values are.
Oh yeah, please do.
And how you're living them out. That would be just the cherry on top of any day that we're having that we're reading these comments. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time more than you know. Attention is the most valuable resource that we have. So much appreciated.
Have a fabulous rest of your day.